A brand new Bentley is a fantastic status symbol for wealth, luxury, and prestige, and depreciation, because it will lose value. That is what they do. A used Bentley is still very luxurious, it's perceived to be prestigious, and it's already depreciated. You just might have some higher maintenance and service costs because, well, it's a used car. But if you are a budget-minded Bentley shopper, well, a car like this could be a fantastic option because you're not going to face the catastrophic depreciation from buying a brand new Bentley, and it's just way less money. This specific 2017 Bentley Continental Flying Spur V8S is for sale at the LaFontaine Vault here in Michigan. It's covered just over 10,000 miles, and it's for sale for around $86,000. When brand new, this thing started at over $200,000, and it being a Bentley, you could very easily inflate the sticker price by checking a few options boxes. So we're at far less than half of the original MSRP for a decade-old Bentley. What is it like? We're gonna find out. All right, so what's under the hood? Well, the V8S has a V8. Surprise, surprise. Often when you think about these ultra-luxury sedans, Rolls-Royce, Bentley, you think about their 12-cylinder engines. Rolls-Royce has their V12, Bentley has their W12. But here we have a 4-liter twin-turbo V8 that is derived from the Audi group that Bentley has fiddled with a little bit. As a V8S, it makes a very healthy 521 horsepower and 502 pound-feet of torque. Even though it's the S version, don't expect this to be super sporty. It's not meant to be like a sporty performance luxury sedan. Now, the W12 is fantastic. So much power, so much torque. It's so smooth, but I've actually really liked every twin-turbo V8 powered Bentley from this era that I've driven. We have an 8-speed automatic transmission, all-wheel drive with a variable torque split that can go rear biased. But speaking of the dynamics and biases, this is where the front axle is, the middle of the wheels. That is an entire 4-liter twin-turbo V8 sitting in front of your front axle. So talk about front biased weight balance. And that's a thing with this generation and platform of the Bentleys. The entire engine is in front of the front wheels. So talk about understeer. They're never meant to be the most dynamic in that regard. It is still ultimately a big luxury cruiser here in sedan form. But let's take a tour of the exterior, the interior, and go for a drive. It's crazy to me that this is a decade old. From a design standpoint, it still looks very nice, and there are quite a few styling cues that are very similar to the newer next generation Continental. We have the quad oval headlights. They're not quite as intricate as the newer crystal look ones, but they're still very nice. And they've been this quad oval circular shape for quite a while, just until recently where they've refreshed the Continental, so they look like a tadpole now, the new headlight design. But this front end is still pretty iconic. This is kind of the look of Bentleys that I think of because I was in around high school, college age when these were coming out. We've got the Bentley logo right here with the red accent, and then coming around the side, we have a couple red accents on the wheels. The brake caliper is a logo there in the middle with a machined finish on these wheels. You get a Bentley Flying B right there on the side. Sadly, no hood ornament, no Flying B hood ornament on this one. I always like those on these executive luxury sedans. Pretty strong shoulder line right here, and then a little V8S badge right there. It's actually rather subtle, the S badging. One way you can tell it's a V8 is back here. The exhaust tips have this little like crimping in, so almost looks like an 8 right here, but the W12 is a big oval shape here, but for the V8 you get this shape. And then we have another oval back here for the taillights. To open the trunk, you press the B on the Bentley logo. Pretty decent sized trunk back here. I've just got a backpack in here. And this is so funny, very British. Boot close, not trunk close, not an icon. We're closing the boot. Very British. So during this era, this was a Continental Flying Spur, the 4-door version of the 2-door coupe and convertible Continental. Later on, they spun it off separately, but here, the Flying Spur is the big, long sedan. And during this era, this actually wasn't the top tier sedan. They had the Mulsanne, Mulsanne, the big one. So that one was a proper like phantom competitor. This was more of a Rolls-Royce Ghost size competitor here. Still very, very nice. I mean, when you go up a step to the Bentley Mulsanne and the Rolls-Royce Phantom, those things are absolute behemoths. This is still huge, nice presence, but call it a slightly more manageable size. I went ahead and started the car up so we can check out the interior. This one's in very nice condition, only 10,000 miles. Oh man, these doors have some nice weight to them. Are they soft close? Yes, indeed, of course. Same thing back here, soft closed doors. Oh, this rear door is so much longer than the front door. Wow. All right, let's start out back here. We've got the quilted white leather with the black contrast, the white stitching, and the white Bentley logo embroidered on the headrests. We've got adjustable seats back here, so they will recline forward back. They're memory. Looks like they're also massage. You get a V8S badge right there. Let me step in. Technically, I should be sitting there. That's the executive chauffeur seat. But, oh, is this a tablet? Oh my gosh. Thank you very much. Oh, did you see that? Did you see that mechanism? Oh, and there's a Bentley logo embossed on that. Oh, wow. All right, so this little tablet looks like it does many, many different things. You can control the front. Oh, you can do media. So essentially like your little MMI knob right here. I can open and close the rear sunshade from my little remote screen. I actually really like this little tablet thing. Vehicle data. I can check the speed. If my chauffeur is, oh my gosh, it's like a little speedometer. This is actually really cool. And then you can have your own little dash clock here, a little Breitling branded dash clock in the back. That is so cool. Let me show you how it comes out again. Yeah, lock? No, unlock. Gimme. Oh, that's so cool. All right, I am actually very, very fascinated by this thing. And even sitting behind myself, I have plenty of legroom. Little picnic table here. Let me go ahead and close this door. Soft close. Oh, and it's so quiet. Oh, immediately you are just isolated from the outside. We have some lighting up here and a full leather headliner. Some fancy cup holders. Some storage. I love the hidden Bentley logos I'm discovering everywhere. Here's another embroidered one that you don't even see when the armrest is down. Like, talk about details. This is the pass-through. Okay, so there'll be a pass-through that is locked right now. Let's see what it's like up front. We've got some quilted white leather inserts on the door panels. The seats are very, very nice. We've got the Bentley logo embroidered there. Some high gloss piano black trim across the upper dash. This is all metal. We've got the dash clock, the Breitling dash clock. Ah, that's just nice. Now, this infotainment screen obviously is going to be one of the things that show the age of this vehicle. And yes, that is a rather old looking system. And it's got a CD player. I don't think I've seen a CD player in a car in quite a while, but look at all the actual physical buttons for our climate control. Look at that. That is so nice. And then we've got some more controls here for our seats. Suspension, engine, stop, start, heated, cooled seats. Our mirror controls are actually inboard right here. And then you press down on the Bentley B to go into drive. Go back into park for now. This interior feels very nice. Everything is high quality, very solid. The stitching and leather everywhere. And then we've got analog gauges, which will never go out of style, right? Your tachometer and your speedometer, and then a little screen there in the middle. This thing has just over 10,750 miles on it. Steering wheel has white leather, the Bentley logo right there. And then we have paddle shifters up here. And the paddle shifters have knurling on them, which is of course very, very nice. I love these little plungers that you push and pull to change the amount of airflow you're getting from the air vents. They're also metal. They feel cool to the touch. Yeah, this is as you would expect in a Bentley. Other than the screen, I wouldn't say this is like a 10-year-old car, right? It's really just a screen. Everything else here is still so nice. Let me turn on my cooled seat and let's go for a drive. All right, let's go cruise around for a bit and see what this Bentley is like. This is 10 years old. Wow. I mean, it's only got 10,000 miles on it, so 1,000 miles a year. It was essentially barely ever driven, but this thing feels brand new still. It's so quiet. That's what I love about these things. You get in them, you close the doors, and it's a cocoon of silence. Like if you're somewhere noisy and you close the doors, you can legitimately hear all of a sudden the sound differential. It just isolates you away. These kinds of vehicles I love describing, you arrive at your destination more relaxed than you left. Because it takes away all your worries and cares in the world. You just waft along, and that's what these things do so well. They waft. The A8s, S-Class, 7 Series, and then you go up a tier to the Bentleys, the Rolls-Royces, the Maybachs. Oh, they are very, very nice daily drivers. But the thing is, when you're buying them, usually you're extremely wealthy. I mean, some of the wealthiest car buyers in the world are the ones who are buying Bentleys and Rolls-Royces brand new because they're so expensive. But if you can't afford to buy it brand new, which the vast majority are not able to by definition, that's when these become rather interesting. And I can already see all the comments, oh, maintenance and service and breaking down is going to cost more than the car. No, that's not how it actually is going to work, but save a lot of money. I always tell people if they're shopping for any high-end used luxury or performance vehicle, whether it's an Audi RS7, a Mercedes AMG, a Rolls-Royce, a used S-Class or something like that, you're going to want to budget a lot more than you probably even expect. So 10 to 20% of the price maybe, just to be safe. It depends on your level of risk, right? If I want to be a little more, let's say, just conservative, I might leave 20K in an account just in case something goes wrong, because the costs are still very high. When you need to repair something, when you need to service something, the component costs are that of a $250,000 car, not of a $86,000 car that you're buying, right? So you have to understand that reality when you're shopping for cars like this. But if you set aside the money, you do your research, make sure it's a nice, clean, well-maintained car. I mean, depreciated, ultra high-end cars are a seriously impressive bargain. Now, I still think that your maintenance costs are not going to be more than the depreciation of a brand new Bentley. And that's not really an apples to apples comparison. It's very much apples to depreciated Apple comparison, right? Because when you buy a brand new Bentley, you get the latest technology and you can order it from new, customize it, any color, paint, leather, anything you literally want, right? So you're getting obviously a used experience here, but like the depreciation on a new one's going to far surpass whatever you need to do to maintain a used one, regardless of how used it is. Now this one here, it's kind of interesting because it's older age-wise, but use-wise, mileage-wise, it's not that much at all. 10,000 miles. I just drove myself straight into traffic, but you know, I don't care because I'm in a Bentley. Not a big deal. Few things about the dynamics of this thing itself. Obviously, it's very quiet, very comfortable with air suspension. You can actually vary the dampers. So when I press a little suspension little icon right here, you get this damper setting screen that pops up, and there are 4 stages from comfort to sport. I can plus and minus it. So let me actually go all the way up into sport, and once the traffic light changes, we can see, what's this one right here? Oh, I have air suspension, car level normal or high. What else? Do I have drive modes? Do I have drive modes somewhere? Maybe there's no drive modes. It's just the damper settings. I guess that makes sense. The S version was tuned to be just a little bit sportier handle, a little bit better, but again, it's not like this is supposed to be some sort of ultra performance focused one. They do that, right? Rolls-Royce has their black badge treatment. Bentley actually, I think intrinsically has always leaned a little bit sporty. You know, Bentley actually has legit racing heritage, and their newer stuff is pushing even sportier. There's that the Super Sports. Those are always really cool. Remember the Bentley Continental GT3R? Like those are legit. But this one here, I mean, the longer wheelbase, the big luxury sedan, this is the car to cruise around in and to be driven in. I'm just like sitting here looking at all the materials. Something else about cars of this level is if it looks like leather, it's leather. If it looks like metal, it's metal. You touch it and it's like, yep, this is metal. The knurling right here, the metal feels cool to the touch, even on the steering wheel here. All right, let's go. The V8s are a little bit more rumbly. You can hear them a little bit more than the W12s. W12s are just so smooth, just this effortless wave of torque. But I actually really like the V8s, and something dynamically speaking about the V8s that is a big difference is it's a lot lighter. It's like over, I think it's 120 something pounds lighter than the W12. And remember, all of that weight is in front of your front axle. So that actually makes a big difference on the front end. I don't want to call this thing like nimble, but it just feels like it turns a little bit more willingly. The W12s feel even more so for wafting, and I think the V8s bring you a slightly more sporty character. And for the longest time, I thought it was cool because it's like a little less expensive than the W12, and you still get pretty solid power and torque. 12 cylinders, this might be controversial, but sometimes I feel like just bragging rights. I remember when I drove an S65 AMG, and I was like, I personally would rather have the S63. You got all-wheel drive and your transmission for that thing, and the comment section, some people, the purists, lost their minds. Like, how could you? The V12. I'm like, in practical sense speaking, right? For what I look at the car for, I was happy with an S63. Same thing with the Bentleys for me. I'm happy with the V8 version. The W12, yeah, sure, 100%. Like, it's very, very nice. I'm not discounting it whatsoever. But if we're talking in the mindset of being a budget Bentley buyer, which there probably are some budget Bentley buyers out there when you're looking at something like this, I don't see any downsides of getting this V8 version. Plus, you also have shared Audi family parts components, so potential ownership costs from that regard and maintenance and things like that could be better. These aren't going to be cheap to maintain, like components like air suspension and just parts and stuff in general. Whatever is bespoke, hand assembled from Bentley will be very, very expensive. But I'm seriously impressed with how this one is presented. Like, it's in very, very good condition. Driving it, I've only driven it just briefly to the spot that I was taking some video, and then right now it feels brand new. It feels brand new. Also, the key is not brand new because we still have, watch this. This, I remember when I used to have what car did I have that? My old R8 had a key, a flip-up key, just like probably the same key, because Audis, you know, and I would just sit around fiddling with this thing all the time. All right, let's go. Yeah, that's definitely quick. That gets up to speed without a problem. It was a BRZ with a license plate that said accountant. Let me toggle my dampers all the way down into comfort. Oh, wow, yeah, that immediately I can feel it softened up over our terrible, bumpy Michigan roads. You can hear it, but the impacts are lessened. Air suspension and these adjustable dampers doing their job. Yeah, so should you buy a depreciated Bentley Continental flying spur like this one? This exact one is actually very, very nice. It's in great condition. I really like the spec. It's classy, super nice. I mean, at $86,000, it's actually, I gotta say, it's a good value. It's a lot of money, but look at what average new cars cost right now. The average new car is 50 grand. I get luxury crossovers and SUVs that are well over $85,000, $90,000 all the time. I had a Genesis crossover that was $90,000 as a press car, right? I had a Toyota Sequoia Capstone, 90 grand. These luxury SUVs, GMC Denali right there, right? You get one of these with 10,000 miles on it. Yeah, it might be a decade old, but you drive a Bentley with the massive, massive caveat. You better put some money aside for service. I would not be surprised if an oil change on this thing is $750 if you go to a dealer, right? So either become really good at DIY or become very friendly with your local independent mechanic that specializes in these high-end European cars, European exotics, and so forth. Because otherwise, yes, your ownership costs will become very, very high, which would be more than a brand new car, right? Oftentimes you buy a new luxury car, they have included maintenance plans, service plans like that. So if you cross-shop this against something I did, I cross-shopped it, I bought a certified pre-owned Audi A8L. Or a used S-Class, right? A used, newer generation S-Class, maybe a 2023 S580, probably similar price, get you a nice one. But how many S-Classes do you see on a daily basis, and how many Bentleys do you see on a daily basis? That answer might change depending on where you live, but no matter what, I am highly confident in saying you're gonna see more Mercedes S-Classes than a Bentley. And it's just, the materials are very high quality. That stuff is never going to go out of style. Leather, wood, metal. It's still bank vault quiet, very comfortable, more than powerful enough. I personally would shop for one of these instead of the W12. Just, again, personal preference. If you want a W12, go for it. I'm not going to fault you because 12 cylinders are also very, very nice. But there are legitimately some benefits of being the V8, namely the lighter weight up front, which means dynamically it's just a little bit more, I hate to say nimble when I'm driving a 5,500 pound land yacht, but just a little bit more nimble. Well, I hope you enjoyed this review of this Bentley Continental Flying Spur. I will leave you with one final nugget of wisdom/common sense. If you buy this car or one like it, make sure you have lots of money set aside for maintenance and service. But if you do buy one, you will be enjoying the pinnacle of hand-built British luxury, comfort, isolation, and prestige as you waft around in your new daily driver. Thanks again to the LaFontaine Vault for making this video possible, letting me take this one out for a quick test drive. I actually really like this thing. It's very, very nice. Go check out their inventory. They have some pretty cool cars in stock. Thanks for watching.